Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, is this really me? This skin, these bones, this breathing, blinking, pulsing mass of cells, is that all I am? Or is it just a temporary costume, a shell I borrowed to walk this earth? And if so, who's wearing it? Since we were born, we've been taught, you are your body, you are your face, your height, your shape. You are what people see when they look at you. But is that really true? If you cut your hair, you're still you. Lose a limb, still you. Even as your body changes every 7 years on a cellular level, you still feel like the same person inside. So who is that constant you? Let's take a closer look. Inside your body, billions of cells are dying and regenerating every second. The skin you have now wasn't the same skin you had 5 years ago. Your blood, your bones, even your stomach lining. They've all been replaced, over and over again. And yet, you still feel like you, which suggests something. You might not be your body. You might just be inhabiting it. Some scientists argue that consciousness is just an illusion, a byproduct of neurons firing in the brain. But what if it's the opposite? What if the brain is a receiver, like a radio picking up a signal, and consciousness is the signal itself? In that case, your body is not the origin of you. It's the translator, the tool. So when the tool breaks down, when the body stops working, does the signal vanish? Or does it go somewhere else? Many ancient philosophies believed the body was merely a vessel, a suit worn by the soul for a limited time. And like any suit, it grows old, wears thin, and one day we must take it off. But that doesn't mean we disappear. It might mean we simply move on, like a traveler changing clothes before entering a new world. Even science whispers clues, the conservation of energy, the quantum entanglement of particles, the fact that everything we are, atoms, carbon, light, is recycled again and again. The air you breathe today might have been exhaled by someone thousands of years ago. The atoms in your hand might have once belonged to a star. So who's to say your consciousness isn't part of that same eternal cycle? Imagine this. You close your eyes for the last time. Your heart stops beating. Your breath fades into silence. But in that stillness, you begin to feel something. Not pain, not fear, but a kind of gentle unraveling, as if the weight of gravity is loosening its grip on your soul. And in that moment, you realize you are not your body. You never were. What you called you was never the skin that wrinkled, nor the bones that ached, nor the hair that grayed with time. The you that smiled, cried, yearned, wondered was something else. Something that wore the body like a costume, but was never bound by it. So when the body returns to dust, where does that something go? Some say it becomes part of the earth. Our atoms scatter into air, water, and soil. Our minerals feed trees. Our breath becomes wind. We dissolve back into the story of the planet, but others believe we carry on. Like light moving through a prism, shifting form, but not vanishing. Like a melody, no longer heard in one room, but now playing softly somewhere else. Near-death experiences, stories of floating above hospital beds, visions of light, tunnels, long-lost loved ones. They all hint at a truth we can't quite touch, but many have felt. Some scientists dismiss it as chemical illusion. Others dare to wonder, what if the mind is stepping out because the costume is no longer needed? Let's return to the idea of energy. Physics tells us energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. So if your thoughts, your love, your awareness, if all that is energy, then what happens to it? Does it truly end, or just take on a new shape? And even if it does end, is that something to fear? Maybe not. Because life, in its deepest essence, was never just about how long you wore the costume. It was about how you danced in it, who you touched, what you made others feel, what small part of yourself you gave away so others could carry it forward. So maybe the question isn't, what happens when we die? Maybe it's, who were we when we were alive? Were we kind? Were we brave? Did we truly see one another beyond the masks we wore? If the body is a temporary costume, then life is the brief stage where we act out love, loss, laughter, and longing before the curtain falls. And maybe, just maybe, some part of us steps off that stage and finds a new role in a new story. So tonight, when you look at yourself in the mirror, don't just see a face. See a soul wearing a story, one that's still being written, one that still matters, even if the costume won't last forever. And if everything you've ever loved was only borrowed, then maybe life was never meant to be owned, just experienced, just shared. So wear your costume well while you still can. Let your touch be gentle. Let your words mean something. Let your presence remind someone else that they're not alone in this story. Because in the end, when the lights dim and the curtain falls, what remains isn't what you looked like. It's how you made them feel before you disappeared into the dark. Thank you for listening. And wherever you are, in whatever form, I hope you find your way back to the light.